For the record, all board members are present. Any public input tonight, Bob? No public input. Quiet night. Approval of the minutes, September 14th, please. Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the bill payment, September 28, 2020, voucher number 2020 through number 2020495 with a total amount of $405,749.57. Have a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills are paid. Department heads, Paul Siegman.
I don't have much tonight. It's just a reminder. We're going to start picking up leaves as soon as more leaves start dropping. But once the leaves start getting picked up, chipper won't be out. So I know for the 10 people that are here, it probably ain't going to affect you. But tell your neighbors when you see them chopping down trees, we might be out for another 2 weeks. We'll start out with one leaf sucker, and then once all the leaves really start to drop, we got to put 2 of them on the road. And with the amount of guys that I have, I can't have both leaf pickers going, the chipper, and still try to keep another crew going for pipe installation and other road work. So, just a reminder, tell your neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Anybody have anything for Paul? Richie Donner.
Good evening, folks. Don't really have a whole bunch. We had a couple water leaks that we dealt with in the past few weeks. Hoover Road, we had one, and Town Line Road. We're hoping with this dry weather we're having that once we get some moisture back in the ground, it doesn't start moving around too quick, but we're ready for it if it happens. Also, we've been dealing with the construction over on Walmore Road, having some issues with the contractor over there, so if you do hear anything from the contractor or the county, I did go over and have to voice my opinion a few times to them. They seem to, every time we go over and mark out our valves for shutting the water off, they either hit them with a bulldozer or hit them with a piece of equipment, knock them off, and then they want to pave over them, and we're kind of fed up with it. 6, 7 times to go over and relocate stuff is getting a little old. So,
Richie, just out of curiosity, if they do damage to our water line, shutoffs, etc., are they charged for that?
They have to do the repairs. They have to repair it. So, and that's great. They're going to do the repairs before the end of the job. But what happens while the job is going on, and if we have to use them?
Yeah.
That's the part that we're trying to stress into them heavy. That you know, if something breaks while they're working over there, we got to be able to shut the water off.
Sure.
So.
What's the duration on this job? Somebody said it wasn't going to be done until next spring.
It won't be, the final paving won't be done till next year, they're saying. They gotta do, signal lights up at Lockport and Walmore, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done yet, so. I don't know how long the county is gonna let them work, but into the fall.
Okay.
Other than that, that's about it.
Anybody have anything for Rich? Thank you, Rich. Mike Rinaldi. Recreation Director.
Good evening. Couple things. First, we're in the process of forming our reopening plan for the youth center. Been working with a couple different townships with regards to their plan. We're targeting either the end of October, beginning in November, to open our doors back up to our regular programming. That applies to pickleball. I've had a few different questions about pickleball, and Supervisor and I talked this morning. We'll reevaluate at the end of October, and with hopes to open up 1st November. And the last thing would be, we're not calling it a Halloween party, but we're going to have we'd like to have a small family gathering for some residents on the 24th. Now, we want to keep it small, we want to keep it simple, because we don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. There was, obviously some of you may have heard, Maple Ave School in the Falls, they had to shut down because of some contact tracing concerns that they had. I had heard tonight that potential problem over at Starpoint as well. And so we're just going to try to keep it where families can come to the park really just with their loved ones. The kids can dress up. It can be where there's limited contact between staff, volunteers, residents, and they just come and hang out at the park for an hour and kind of do their own thing. We're going to set up a display where they can kind of take pictures, and that will essentially be, our Halloween.
You won't be doing any handouts where they're...
We're not going to do handouts, refreshments. We're going to just keep it where families want to come to the park and take some pictures, check out our decorations, just something to do. What time, Mike? 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
And just so everybody knows, again, Mike and I talked this morning, it's still kind of work in progress. There's still some issues that have to be addressed. We have to make sure that social distancing is maintained, masks, but we're working on it. And Mike, I thank you. I think it's a great idea to get families involved. And if anybody's been over to the town's walking path, it's an area where they can walk and still keep social distance and hopefully enjoy your Halloween.
That's the intention.
So I think it's a great idea. But again, still work in progress, a few things that have to be ironed out. And anyway, is that it for you, Mike?
Last thing is I just wanted to thank Rich for helping us out with watering grass seed next to the monument. We got grass growing already, so appreciate that, Rich.
Okay. Mike, if you don't mind, this gentleman here from Spectrum News is here about Halloween and our celebrations. If you would stick around for a few minutes to talk with him.
Sure.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you. And Mike Clark is ill tonight. Kelly, our assessor. And I won't pronounce the last name because I always say it wrong. Good evening, Kelly.
I don't have much to report, just kind of want to remind everybody that I will be sending the renewal forms for any exemptions that need to be renewed every year. I'll be sending them out like middle of October, and then they would have to be into my office by March 1st. Please spread the word that anybody, your neighbors, friends, loved ones that are turning 65 in the year 2021, come see me before March 1st, and just trying to keep answering phone calls and emails and everything in the assessor's office right now.
Okay. That's it, Kelly?
That's it.
Anybody have anything for Kelly?
Just one on the new payroll system we're looking into, the switch. We had one call with the vendor a couple weeks ago. Anything more coming up on that, or?
Nope, I think it was left as we have to have the town board discuss that time and attendance, and then the actual payroll system the one that we're using now will end at the end of this year, and by January of next year we have to be on a new system. So if you guys could talk, because I really kind of like that time and attendance thing, and I have talked to some department heads, and I think they're all kind of for it too.
Kelly, what do we have to do to keep this moving? I thought this was...
We have to get approval from you guys to move to the next step.
Okay, I think, though, I don't think the board members are quite aware of what the system is.
No.
So maybe, do you feel qualified to sit down with us and explain the new system?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do something in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
We have a meeting coming up the 14th that hasn't been scheduled yet to discuss, we have a public hearing, and maybe we can meet that night.
Okay.
Okay, so just for a few minutes, and you can just tell us briefly of the benefits. I know you and I and Debbie, we've already discussed this, and it's something we have to do, but I want the other board members to be aware of it too, okay?
I can summarize a little bit of what's going on.
Well, Larry, let's meet with the board first,
Okay.
okay? Okay, so everybody's aware, and that
Okay,
way
I'll
we
get
can...
the notes and the emails from them, so then we can have it all.
Yeah.
Because Larry was on that meeting too,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Okay,
Okay, that'd be great.
thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Constables, Bob. Why don't we do it? Well, no, why don't you come down, we'll do it now. Bob, we'll go ahead and give your presentation, and we'll do the motion afterward, just so it's part of one of the motions tonight, gents.
Okay, I'm asking the town board to hire 2 new constables. I have 3 that retired, and 1 went to a police department, so I'm short by 4. So I'm only gonna ask for 2 at this time to cover the COVID at the community center, the youth center, and the town hall. I have two in the academy right now, not charging the town a dime. And they won't be, uniformed and all that till their probation's over. It'll probably be July, August. So that's all I have.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Bob? That's one of our motions tonight, to fill two of the positions. Won't be additional hours, just what we have to do with the COVID-19, and also just to replace people that have either retired or moved on to other positions. So just so everybody's aware.
Yeah, with the budget concerns, I know Ed Mangold and the supervisor, we've been meeting with department heads and that. We're trying to cut expenses because we're getting hit, I don't know, about a $500,000 shortfall, I think, is close to what we may see by the end of the year. Are we, like, reducing patrol time at all a little bit?
Yes.
On the constable
Yes.
side? Great,
We've almost cut it out, Larry.
okay.
So, I mean, to the end of the year, the patrol is limited.
Okay. Well, I knew the answer to the question. I just wanted everyone to hear it.
Oh,
Okay.
right?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Bob. And the seniors, no one here. Wendell, Tim Zuber.
Thank you. We have only one thing on our agenda this evening, and it's our planning board report. There's quite a few items on here because we actually haven't had a second monthly meeting of the town board since before COVID, to my recollection. So these go back to July. So some of these might be a little bit of old news here, but I'll try to go through them quickly for you. Our first meeting, there was only one agenda item on July 1st, and that was for Joseph Matina. There's a storage building. He's proposing to build a small addition to the existing building at 3176 Niagara Falls Boulevard. That's the former Pelicanos Marketplace building. We had lengthy discussion with the planning board, and actually, due to issues with parking and access, the applicant decided not to proceed with that change, but rather just make cosmetic changes to the building and seek a change of use. The next meeting was on July 15th, and the first item on that meeting was a sketch plan for J&D seal coating. That applicant was proposing to build up to 4 metal buildings on several vacant lots on the east side of 103rd Street. The buildings would be for proposed indoor and outdoor storage of paving equipment in support of his business. Planning board discussed several items with him before he returns with a formal site plan, including the Love Canal overlay district requirements and potential noise and odor impacts to adjacent residential buildings. The next item was the preliminary plat for Wheatfield Crossing Subdivision. This was actually following the town board's action on seeker on July 6th for that. This opened for the planning board to make a formal recommendation on the preliminary plat back to the town board. So that was done at the 15th meeting. Next meeting was on August 5th. First item on that agenda again was a sketch plan for rock hard fence. The applicant proposes to build a 4,000 square foot pole barn at 2063 Cayuga Drive Extension, and that would be to utilize to store equipment and supplies relevant to his fence business at the same location. The next item was a site plan for the Child's Creative Development Center. This applicant proposes to construct a 13,440 square foot daycare facility at 3641 through 51 Niagara Falls Boulevard. These are the same parcels that the board rezoned from R2 to C1 back in the fall of 2019. The project proposes a number of things, including a new bridge over Sawyer Creek for access. They'll connect their existing utilities on Demler Drive. And again, the planning board brought up several things for them to consider on their site plan, including floodplain development, wetland impacts and permitting, and coordination of new driveway and bridge with the DOT. Next meeting was August 19th. That had one agenda item. It was a sketch plan for Niagara County Public Safety Tower. County proposes to construct a 180-foot tall self-supporting tower to provide two-way wireless communication capabilities to law enforcement, fire, emergency medical services, and emergency management within Niagara County. It would be located at the rear of the property line of 3747 Lockport Road, which is the Shawnee Fire Company property, and that is in an R2 zone. So the planning board discussed items with them, including several different variances that they would need for a tower at that location. The next meeting was September 2nd. There were two items on that agenda, one of which was the a sketch plan for the proposed Dollar General store. Actually, I'm gonna take that back, there was only one item on that agenda. But the applicant proposes to build a 9,100 square foot Dollar General store at 2314 Niagara Falls Boulevard. That's on Cayuga Drive Extension, right across the street from the tattoo or piercing business that's there. Again, this was just a sketch plan, so the planning board brought up several things for that applicant to consider if they did go on with a formal site plan. Included floodplains, drainage, the existing billboards on the site, and different variances that they may need to achieve. The next meeting was September 16th, and this is the last one. And both items on this agenda were repeat ones. The first one was the Child Creative Development Center again. And the planning board declared lead agency status and started a coordinated review under seeker for that project. That was the only action for that. And for Rock Hard Fence, the planning board actually scheduled a public hearing for that, which is required for their special use permit. That public hearing was scheduled for October 7th at 6:35 p.m. So that is a down and dirty summary of our past 6 planning board meetings. Any questions?
I'm sorry, the special permit for the rock hard fence, the special permit is for what purpose?
It's for storage in a commercial zone,
Okay.
in the overlay district,
But is it storage in conjunction with an operation of a business?
and in the overlay district.
Oh, okay. Overlay.
Any storage building in the overlay district has to get a special use
Thank
permit.
you.
It's allowed.
Thanks, Tim. Anybody have anything for Tim tonight? Thank you, Tim. Motions for Kathy tonight. Matt is off tonight.
Before I start the motions, I just noticed a correction for the bill pay. The voucher number should be 2020 through 2020 17-18, and the total is $377,013.96. For whatever reason, that didn't get updated, so I'm gonna correct it in the minutes.
Okay.
And then I will start with
What was
motion.
the total amount, Kathy?
377,013.96.
You know what, I don't know if we should, amend our motion. We probably should.
Okay.
And Matt's not here, but let's, okay, to amend, okay. I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
To accept the revised, payment of bills.
And the first motion is from the Budget Director. Be it resolved that this town board does hereby approve the following 2020 budget transfers for the general fund as follows, and as noted in the agenda. You need a motion?
I have a motion. Do we have a second, please?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The next motion is from the town board. Whereas due to the COVID pandemic, there has been some concern as to whether trick-or-treating hours should be sanctioned by the town, and whereas the state of New York has decided to let trick-or-treating occur, the town will recommend all participants follow the state and CDC guidelines and take caution in all Halloween-associated activities. And whereas no one in the town is required to participate, residents who choose not to participate should turn off their porch light during trick-or-treat hours. Now therefore it be resolved to set Halloween 2020 trick-or-treat hours on October 31st, 2020 from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
The next motion is from the Constable Department.
Kathy, hang on one second. Remove Jack Robinson from that list, please.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Kathy.
To hire Aaron Brantley and Adam Binner as part-time town constable and at recruit status until such time Brantley and Binner complete the public safety law enforcement training at the rate of pay and terms pursuant to job specifications of a part-time town constable and pending approval of Human Resources and the Niagara County Criminal Background Check.
I'll make the motion. A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And just a reminder that they are attending the academy at this time with no cost to the town of Wheatfield. And they are at a recruit status and will not get uniforms until such time they pass their probationary period. Okay, Kathy.
The next motion is from the Highway Department. Be it resolved to authorize and approve the Highway Department to enter to an agreement with DC Family Tree Service for the cutting down of approximately 27 ash trees on town property behind Winbert Drive. Said agreement is in the amount of $4,500 and is the lowest quote received to date from Responding Tree Services.
Yeah, the agreement would be with the town board, only because it is town property, but it's something that the town board is doing. So we'll have to revise we'll still give the authority tonight, but the conditions or the agreement will be with the town board and payment from the town board. So I'll make that, we'll straighten it out with Matt tomorrow,
Okay,
but that's essentially what we're doing. It won't be through Paul, it'll be a town board action.
all right.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Second on the question. I had a question. Paul, in their bid, DC Family Tree Service said the cost of the job can be offset if we were able to sell. Are they gonna be able to sell any of this wood?
Well, that's the problem, you don't know. It depends if there's a market for it.
Okay,
If he can sell some of it, he's gonna sell some of it and offset the actual cost of it. It might end up being lower than 4,500.
okay, so we won't know until after these trees are cut then.
4,500 is the maximum, basically, and it can go down from there if he's able to get somebody to buy the trees.
Okay, thank you.
And it was our lowest bid, so. Do I have a motion?
Yeah,
First and second, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we have it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, there was a supplemental motion from the Budget Director, and that is to set a public 2021 tentative budget work session for October, and the date to be determined in a time.
Okay, gentlemen, I've already talked with Ed about this, and I'd like to schedule for October 14th, 2020 at 6 o'clock, if that's good for everybody. Everybody good with that date? Do I have a motion? I have
Can
a
you repeat
motion
the
and a
date-
second.
Can you repeat the date and time again?
October 14th at 6 o'clock here at the town hall to go over the tentative budget. And a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And that's it for the motion.
Okay, thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Board members, Larry.
I've got nothing tonight.
Okay, Gil? I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That's it, Gil? Okay. Kurt? Thank you, Kurt. Randy Reslow. Okay. Just a couple things tonight. I want to thank the Highway Department and the Recreation Department and the Water Department for assisting in the town's monument. We brought topsoil in, as you can see, in the last few weeks, and thanks to Mike, the Highway Department, and Rich, they've all contributed their time and their people to get the grading and the seeding done. And just for point of interest, the tank is going to be moved over here Wednesday, so the tank will be in place. So little by little, it's coming together, And if you haven't had the opportunity to see the helicopter with the lights on, you'll see it tonight. Those are also LED lights, which they don't cost anything to run, but I think you'll find it impressive. And Tom, do you have any report? Do you want to talk about the?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
And again, you know, Tom, I keep saying thank you. I'll say it again tonight. Thanks for all your efforts. One of the other things, I received a call twice in the last week, and I missed one of the calls. A company that's interested in locating a solar farm on our Whitmer Road dump site. And it's not visible from any particular road. I don't know the status of it yet. It's preliminary. They want to meet with us. I'll keep you posted. Right now there's no really anything hard to discuss, but someone is interested, and to me, what a perfect site. So I will keep you posted, but I did receive a call, and they're going to try and meet with us, the town board, to discuss their proposal.
It's perfect because you can't see it from any road, and you
Sure.
can't see it from any...
Yeah, and then, you know, we still own the dump. I think we
Yeah.
bought it for $1. I don't know about that, but so it could be a benefit to not just the town of Wheatfield, all of our taxpayers, so let's hope it works out. That's all I have. The next, any other public input? Oh, Jesse, I'm sorry.
I have a couple updates. Is this on? Okay. I have a couple updates from the county. I'd like to start with a little COVID update. As of today, there's 11 new cases, 1,760 total, 67 active cases, 1,592 are recovered, and 92,072 have been tested. Niagara County has hosted we hosted a mini walk-up career fair last week at the Plat building in Niagara Falls. You know, it was fairly successful. There wasn't, you know, we had to keep the crowds minimal, but it was the first one. My personal company participated in it. I thought it was pretty well organized, and we're actually going to host another one. We're planning on doing it here in Oppenheim Park sometime in October. We also have a new Best Health Behavioral Health brick and mortar building that I attended a ribbon cutting for last week in Niagara Falls on Pine Avenue. I was able to present a proclamation to the mental health director for Suicide Awareness Month last month at our legislature meeting. Myself and legislator Nemi, we started a rethink committee for reopening up for county employees. We had our first meeting actually today. We're planning on meeting with the county manager and the HR department next week. We're just talking about creative ways on reopening for the county employees. I also spoke with Mike a week or two ago about the Halloween event, and you know, I fully support it, and if there's anything, I told him and the town, if there's anything that I can do to help with that, I'd be more than glad to assist with that. That's about all I got. If you guys have any questions.
Jesse, on the COVID-19, do you know what the percentage is in Niagara County right now? Less than 2%?
It is, yeah. It's been consistently low since June 15th.
Because Niagara County, from my understanding, is in good shape.
Yeah.
I think it's like 1 point something.
Yeah, the numbers have been really low.
Which is
I mean, the number that we look at is the almost 1,600 that are fully recovered.
Yeah.
And 90 out of 92,000 tests. So I think the numbers are doing really well.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Anyone else that has discussed something that we've discussed tonight? Or okay, thank you. Our next meeting is October 5th, 2020 at 7 o'clock. And we have a public hearing, Kathy. I'm looking here, October 5th says public hearing in Wheatfield.
Oh, I'm sorry, just didn't get updated, no, cut that off.
Okay. Scratch the public hearing. Okay. Okay. And if I could have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. thank you folks for attending.